Hello and welcome to the Video Creator Podcast. I'm your host, Grant Ball. You may know me from the YouTube channel Tree School, but we are not talking about me today. No, I'm here with the creator of the oh-so-delicious channel, Cooking with CJ. This is a channel that has accrued over 77,000 subscribers and over 8 million total channel views in just about 4 years. CJ also has a new channel called CJ's Q, where he focuses on everything you need to know about barbecuing, which of course is a skill we can all be better at. I could certainly learn a thing or two. This man is your culinary expert. He's definitely the type of guy you want in your kitchen and at your barbecue, which is why I'm so excited to be talking to him today. CJ, how are you doing?
I'm great, Grant. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be a part of your podcast here and your maiden voyage. I'm pumped up, man. Let's go.
Yeah, likewise. I'm really glad to hear it. So, you started posting about 4 years ago, and the first thing I noticed about your channel is you are very consistent with uploading. So, this is the Video Creator Podcast, where we talk about how to succeed on YouTube and what is working with people. Probably the most important thing is just consistency. So, you post 3 days a week. I believe it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I'm guessing you have a full life outside of your channel. Just to start, do you have any advice for keeping up with such a good upload schedule?
You know, it was drilled into my head that you need to be consistent with your uploads, right? So I really taken it to heart. And advice is have a strong, for me, a wife, partner, right? That's understanding, right? That it's going to take a lot of work to be consistent with your upload schedule, right? So I have a full-time gig. I have a real job, but a job, and I do the YouTube after hours. So there's a lot of time where I have to, cook, clean, set up, light, edit, all that jazz. So I work a lot. This is my second job. YouTube to me is a straight up second job. It provides income. It helps, with, my family. And not only do I have to deal with all that stuff, we also have 5 kids. So we are always moving and grooving with some. We got kids in band, we got kids in baseball. Like, we are all over the place. So having an understanding partner in the relationship is a really big deal. That's someone that can help me out. She helps run my website. She helps me set up, not so much helps with the dishes, but she's there. She's there to taste test and critique, and it's a big deal to me to have someone strong in my life that's a partner in it really is a business for me.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, man. Yeah,
Thanks.
one thing I do try to preach is having a good personal life when you're trying to accomplish your YouTube dreams. If you don't have love in this world, it's going to be harder to succeed. And clearly, you have found love, and you got a big, happy family, and
Yes,
I'm happy for you, for real. And
sir.
so one thing I did kind of want to get into, I was looking at your stats. And I see in January of 2021, you got about 1.6 million views on your channel in that month alone.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the video that kind of blew up for you? How did it feel having something go viral?
Okay.
Let's hear about that.
Let's talk about my 1 pound smash burger video.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
This video, it was one of my first videos I did for TikTok, right? I was just kind of dipping my feet into TikTok because I feel like as a creator, you need to be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You got to always, branch out and, keep trying to find streams, right? So I do this video for TikTok, and then YouTube was just getting into the shorts, their version of the short form vertical videos. So just on a whim, I threw it onto YouTube, and it didn't happen right away, but it started just gaining traffic, 100,000 views, every other day. Like, it was just insane what was going on. And I didn't make any money off of it because you don't make much money off of the shorts, but it did bring a lot of people, a lot of recognition, a lot of really really nasty comments out there because the YouTube trolls, they're
Oh, I
out there.
do. I sure do.
Um, the video itself was just a play on something I saw on First We Feast. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Hmm.
YouTube, but they have the burger show. Alvin made 1 pound smash burger, which flattened a big old piece of piece of meat, right? Folded it up, put it on a big cheeseburger, whatever, right? And just there were a lot of cool comments that came along with it, but there was some hate going on, and it was insane. Like, obviously, I'm a big boy, I like to eat. I'm in there, but dude, the hate that came along with that, it was there were some, like, dude, I was like, I'm about to take this video down. Like, usually you gotta have tough skin to be a YouTuber, but dude, they were coming at you, man. It was insane.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry
again,
to hear that.
yeah, no, that's fine. It is what it is. Uh, but it was cool. It was pretty much my only viral video. It's over 3 million views now. It really did crest, and then it's down to slight views now. But it was really cool to see that, and just seeing comments every day. And I've been really big on trying to answer all comments. And with this particular video, I just couldn't keep up. I was just hearting them and letting them know I acknowledge, but I could not keep up with that.
Yeah, I feel that when the comments come flooded in, like it's nice to feel like you're interacting with everybody, but at a certain point, especially when you got a busy life like yours, I mean, you just gotta at some point take a little bit of a step back. And so I am curious. You said that obviously the short brought a lot of attention to your channel. YouTube shorts among YouTubers I've spoken to are a little controversial in the sense of some people they don't feel they necessarily translate to more traffic for the channel, but then other people say that they do. What was your experience? Did you feel like the traffic from this big smash burger short kept going, or was it kind of a one-time thing?
No, I think it was kind of a one-time thing. Like, I think I pulled the stats on it, and I the analytics. I think I got 8,000 subscribers. So 8,000 out of 3 million views doesn't translate very well to me. And a fair amount of those 8,000 people are not coming back. They were just kind of just hitting the button to hit it as they're passing by. And a lot of people are looking for the outrageousness of that video of like eating a 1 pound burger. Well, none of my other videos are that like that. It's like doing one mukbang video that hits hard, but you're not going to hear me eating. In fact, I deliberately cut out me eating when I try one of my dishes because I hate the sound of people eating.
Hmm.
So I'll take a bite and cut it, cross the valve, and oh, that was amazing because everything I make is amazing, of course.
It looks amazing. For
No,
like,
thank you.
I watched a lot of your videos, and dear God, I was very hungry watching all of that. And yeah, clearly you know your way around a grill and a barbecue and all that. Okay, so I noticed, like, I didn't really see many shorts on your channel in general. So after that short, did you kind of just decide, like, if this is the best it gets with shorts, I'm just not going to do it again? Was that kind of
Well,
your?
I tried to get in a little bit more on it, but it just the return on investment of it just didn't seem like it was there. I know they created a shorts fund, like TikTok as a fund, but I, just by talking about my busy schedule, I cannot keep up with doing a short a day, which is what they're looking for, 2 or 3 a day or whatever. I just can't do it. So for me now, I'll do one every once in a while, or I'll actually recycle an old video. I'll have an old horizontal video that I'll pull up, shorten, turn vertical, and I'll put that out as a short. But for the most part, I don't put a lot of effort into that. It doesn't
Mhm.
seem like it, like I said, the return on investment just really isn't there.
Yeah, I totally agree. YouTube
Yeah.
Shorts are, yeah, they're like, I don't know what the word is. They're appealing, but the end goal of them, like, it doesn't quite seem to manifest what I want, and you clearly have had the same
Right.
experience here.
And if you kind of look at, I've had some guidance from the YouTube creators, family over there, and they're looking for the more hip, trending type stuff. And like I'm not gonna get up and dance while I'm cooking a burger, right? Like there's just no, it's, I hope I'm conveying what I'm,
Yeah,
trying to, but
absolutely.
like, I don't think I'm what they're looking for. So, more or less, they're not gonna push that through. Like the burger, the 1 pound burger was very outrageous, so they're putting that through because it's an outrageous thing. But if I do like a tri-tip, I'm gonna get a couple thousand videos, and it is what it is, right? So it's just nothing's gonna go straight viral, more or less for me.
hmm And I do notice you have plenty of videos that are over 100,000 views. Have you noticed any like pattern with videos that tend to get more traction, even if they don't go viral necessarily? Clearly, some videos on your channel they really do get up there. So have you noticed that those videos have something in common, or is it kind of random?
Well, yeah, I work with the Ninja foodie brand. Uh, the majority of my videos have some sort of that in there, at least on my main channel. And when I use the grill, when it's a brand new thing, they put a brand new whatever out every spring or whatever. And when I start cooking on that, it's a hit. When I do a protein on that, like a ribeye steak, it's a hit because most people, when they get the new contraption, they get the new device, whatever gadget, they want to make the simple things on there. So if I do a steak, a chicken breast, a baked potato, those are the type of things that people are searching for. Now I'll go and get creative with something and have some fun with it. But if they're not looking for that, a random like I don't know, mac and cheese in it or something like that, right? They're not necessarily looking for that in that particular device. It's not going to get searched.
Totally. And so you mentioned that you work with the Ninja Foodie brand. I noticed, I saw that a lot in your video titles, Ninja
Yeah.
Foodie. Are you sponsored by them, or do you just happen to like their stuff?
I'm a brand ambassador with them, an affiliate. You know, uh, I do not get paid by them otherwise. Besides my affiliates. But when I got my first foodie from them, uh, it kind of opened the door with them to get more products to work with. And when you're an up and coming channel, getting free stuff is the jam, right? You're like, this is it. Now, so I use those free tickets to kind of build up my channel, get subscribers, build a community. I have Facebook groups devoted to those things that have close to 100,000 people following on there too. I've built a nice community around that brand. But as I grow my channel, I do believe that, breaking off, I don't take free deals anymore. Sending me something free doesn't blow up my skirt anymore. Like it's not a big deal to me. And every, it's, well, I know cooking, right? Every cooking YouTuber goes through it. You get the free barbecue spices when you start, or a free knife, and you're like, dude, I'm coming up. This is awesome. And you get grill, or you get, a gadget or whatever. And that's how the brands make their head. And I get it, but at a certain point, the freebie fun wears off, and now I'm trying to be legitimately growing my channel, and the freebies just don't do that for me.
Totally get it. And
Yeah.
so you did mention that you have affiliate links with Ninja Foodie.
Mhm.
Can you? So you do make some money through that, if you don't mind me asking, just because.
Yeah, I do. Um, I have a commission schedule set up with them. You buy an indoor grill, you buy I don't know, the pressure cooker, whatever, right? If you buy it using my link, I get a commission off of it. My commission goes up. Well, it's a very roller coastery through the year. So like when they release the new hotness in the spring, I start getting a lot more affiliate hits, and then Christmas time, that's a big deal
Hmm.
for cooking channels. The November, December, January. Those are the times when my views go up, my AdSense goes up, my commissions from not only the Ninja affiliate, excuse me, not only the Ninja affiliate agreement I have, but um, Amazon affiliates. All that stuff is just a real roller coaster throughout the year.
Totally. Yeah. So one thing we definitely talked about on this podcast is affiliate links.
Right.
I'm super glad that you're using them and using them well. Because yeah, the nice thing about affiliate links versus like straight up sponsorship, where you spend a minute pitching, check out blah blah blah, and they pay you a
Right.
certain amount of money to say that. I feel like affiliate links, it's a bit easier to be organic with it. You don't have like a section of the video that's cut off to like have an ad.
Right.
Affiliate links, they're
Right.
just kind of always there, and you're using their products, and then people are like, oh, well, this guy clearly knows what he's doing. He's fun to watch, and if he's using this, then clearly it's good. So maybe I'll buy it, and then you kind of get this passive income, essentially. I mean,
Right.
passive income's kind of a buzzword, but it's a nice idea, huh?
No, it's making money while you're sleeping. I mean, it just is what it is. I do the same thing with my knife company. Like I'm a brand ambassador for Dog Strong Knives. Well, I'm usually cutting something in my videos, right? So like I said, I have a whole blade, holder in my kitchen. I'll send you a picture when we're done. It's insane, but I have all these knives, so I'll grab a new one out there, and if you want this sharp, cool looking knife, links down below, and I'll give a link to the camera or whatever, and I have the same thing with the cutting boards. If I work with a brand that's not paying me like to put out a video or give that 60-second spot in there, and I have a past relationship because I work with them with the freebies or whatever. If I can get an affiliate link, then I feel like at least I could have an opportunity to make some cash.
Totally. Yeah, I respect that, and I think it's probably my favorite way to monetize things on
Yeah.
YouTube. And speaking of which, I was checking out your Patreon, and I noticed that you have an appetizer course. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the course. This excites me. Appetizers are kind of my favorite part of the meal.
It's funny. I was trying to come up with um, what am I trying to say? Clever ways of. Sorry, I gotta check this out. I
Yeah, no
don't
worries.
exactly have it straight up in front of me, but I was trying to come up with like clever ways of, dinner course, appetizer course. How do I get people to like, um, kind of buy into what I'm trying to sell here? And it's, I mean, I don't know really how to describe. I want to give, the tiers that I'll give you a shout on my video. Like so, at the end of my videos, I have show producers, right? And they'll scroll up. So that's with my Patreon people, and then it's my memberships on YouTube. And I'll put on there, you'll be forever immortalized in my videos, right? As long as YouTube's around, you're gonna be on a video, right? And so I give them the steps of that. I'll do, I'll say this week's, Patreon member is, John Smith, hooked it up with the appetizer today. Um, or if you hit the extra tiers, I'll reach out to you like what do you want me to make, like I'll do your recipe, like what is your mind. And I had one of my patrons wanted uh, what was it chicken parmesan, right? He wanted chicken parmesan, and what I did, I turned it into a family night. I had two of my little sons, I had them help me make the thing. So we had a fun family night. I was able to shout out the Patreon member. I talk about my kids a lot, especially in the show I used to do. So everybody feels they kind of know them. I don't always put them in the videos, but they're always running around. Half of my outtakes are me yelling upstairs, like "Shut up!" I'm trying to film, right? So it's fun to bring them in. And the Patreon thing is just another way for people to get a little access to us, a little helping out the channel. You know, I get people that, the trolls in the comments that are like, blah, blah, like, why are you getting a sponsor? Why are you using this brand over this brand? Like, you're not paying my bills. You came here for a free recipe I'm willing to give you, right?
Hmm.
I've put my hard work into this. Well, so if we're asking for a little, no, I'll say a little help, but if you want to become a producer and help out, these are the ways we're going to do it. And I'll set up these little tiers, and I try to make it beneficial to the other people, to the Patreons or to the channel members. And the good thing about either or of either option is I can put stuff on there as like sneak peeks. I could leave a video unlisted, but put the link into the Patreon or to the members, so they can see it a little before I get started. Or I'm out in the back, I'm working on. I did fried rice yesterday, so I put a video. We got some fried rice. This is what we're putting out tomorrow. You're getting a sneak peek. It is what it is. So these are the ways that actually, you're always trying to find different streams, of income, of ways to, the grocery bills are expensive, right? I mean, you've been to the grocery store, so this is the way, it's the way people can help out. So that's kind of how I do it.
Totally, yeah, and like we're always kind of telling people, if you have knowledge to offer, which in your case, you're a cooking expert, offering a course on how to make appetizers or whatever is, I mean, it's useful knowledge, and it's interesting. Appetizers are a part of the meal where, like, I feel like when you're cooking at home, it's easy to kind of forget about appetizers or whatever.
Right.
But I find it interesting that you're bringing attention to them and kind of spreading knowledge about them.
I've set up playlists on them too. If you actually come to my home, we have people come over or whatever, and I'm barbecuing out back, I'll put something on there, or even, cooking in the house too. I will put something out, whether it's, a board of, I hate charcuterie board because it sounds so like snobby, but a board of snacks, right? Or I will grill up some sausages and some wings or whatever, so people have something to munch on, appetizer, right? Before we get the brisket out, or before we get, the side of beef ready for everybody, right? So I'm big in that, and that came from me kind of growing up around, my grandma was a big, homemaker. When you come to their house, you always have, snacks, right? Little vittles to get going. And that was just a big deal to me. So we try to keep it going that way.
That is wonderful. Yeah, I never really thought about appetizers as kind of like I mean, obviously they're a part of the meal experience, but as far as like while you're cooking, you're kind of like getting something in people's stomachs, and it's
Right.
it adds to the experience a lot.
I think about it. Think about the old, my grandma's Sicilian, right? So I know now, right? She'd have a big pot of Sunday gravy out. There'd always be crusty bread. Everybody's running in there, taking a little dip into the food, or dipping into the gravy in there, and it was just always a thing. And the kitchen has become such a hub in a lot of people's homes. So we actually remodeled our kitchen. So there's just a big bar, big kitchen island thing on there that just fits everybody in there. Like, we got rid of like tables, whatever. It's just a big kitchen island where we know everybody comes around. So that's a big deal for us.
Yeah, right on. I love it. I love it. And so to switch gears a little bit here, do you have a philosophy for your videos? I know you said like the 1 pound smash burger and with 2 slices of cheese on it to cover the whole thing. That's not really your style. That's very bombastic, over the top. You seem more not just wholesome, but like you're more interested in just like making really good food and sharing it and sharing how to make it. Like, does that sum up your philosophy? Is there more to it? Like, what goes through your head when you're making a video?
More or less. Like, I cook on videos like how I cook for people that come to my house, right? I'm just a dude. Like, I'm a guy, right? Like, I am not fancy. I'm not pretentious. I try to make easy things that don't take a lot of time, unless it's like barbecue, low and slow, takes forever, but at the end it's worth it, right? But the main cooking I do is I try to make it easy as possible. I don't get crazy with culinary terms. I use a pinch of that, a dash of that, whatever. That's why I love cooking, because it's so it's fluid, right? I hate baking, because baking, you have to be precise, right? That's why my wife does all the baking. I'm not precise. I just let it flow. I have plenty of recipes that I just, we'll throw this in there, and I'll try to, type it out. I put the ingredients and all that stuff out, and I try to put the measurements. But cooking to me has always just been fluid, and I just have fun with it. And I want people to come in, and a lot of comments I get are like, you just down to earth. You keep it as simple as possible. And that's my goal, is just to keep it simple. I try not to make overcomplicated stuff. I try to make it so it's easy for you to make. And I'll tell you one thing, I told you my life is really busy. I am filming a lot of what I'm cooking for dinner, right? So you are having dinner with me when you're watching them videos, or you're having lunch with me and breakfast, right? I am trying to work smarter, not harder, right? I need to make dinner for the family, so I might as well film it. I literally keep my lighting and my tripods and all that stuff in the kitchen, like off to the side. It's tripping over, but I keep them in the kitchen, and I just try to get it in there so I can load them, unload them, film. I always have a camera ready. My B-roll is my iPhone. I pay for the best iPhone, so I can use it as my B-roll most of the time, and it turns out, and it's the way it goes.
Totally. And I like the word you used, fluid. Your videos do feel very organic and fluid. And I know you mentioned earlier a lot of your outtakes are, like your kids in the background. And I think it's not just smart, but even wise and good that you are willing and able to kind of seamlessly work around your family. I think like I talk to a lot of people that are making YouTube videos, and some people could get very obsessed with like having the perfect set or
Right,
needing total silence or just like kind of overthinking it, where
right.
like you clearly like you're working around 5 kids and a wife. I mean, there's a lot of things going on when the camera's rolling,
It's
and
true.
the fact that you're kind of able to just roll with it, I think is great. And clearly this is a part of the reason why you're able to upload so often is you're not overthinking things. You're filming what you're making for dinner, and you're doing your thing, and you're not really trying to spice it up or make it over the top or anything. It's
Right.
you're just like you're making it entertaining, and you're doing your thing, and you're showing what you know. I respect
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate it.
So I have like a couple personal questions, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm curious, how long have you been barbecuing for? Where did you like come out of the womb and you started flipping burgers? Tell me a little bit about your journey into the culinary arts.
Well, I got to tell you, man. Well, let's kind of go two different ways. We'll talk about barbecue in a hot second, but the way I got involved with cooking was growing up. It was just me and my mom, right? My dad is still around, but they split when I was younger, so I just lived with my mom in my formative years. And she taught me how to cook because she worked long hours, and she wanted me to be able to have so I could cook, I could clean. I knew how to sew buttons if I had to. She taught me to be, the Renaissance man. So I've always loved that. And when I moved out, when I was 18 or 19 or whatever it was, I moved in with a buddy that loved cooking too. And that was right when the Food Network got started. It was in the mid 90s or whatever. And we would watch Emerald Lagasse, and we'd try to cook like that. So cooking has always been kind of in my blood. I told you my grandmother was a big cook and all that. So it was always the thing for me, and I just love doing it. It's a stress relief. I love being creative. I love watching people eat. I love watching people leave my house fed, full, and happy. I have friends that come over that are the YouTubers that are like, you go to CJ's house, you're not going home hungry, and I take that to heart. Like, I know you're gonna eat when you come here, you eat well. So now barbecue. My first experience with barbecue was a knockoff Weber kettle from Sears when I was 19, moving into my first apartment,
Mm.
and I damn near burned everything. So it's true. Like, it was horrible. I marinated everything with too much of whatever, make it too salty, and I usually burn that off. And then from that point on, I kind of got away from charcoal because I was burning stuff, and got into gas grills, and it was what it was. A lot of carne asada and chicken that you couldn't really screw up too bad. But in the last 4 or 5 years, I really devoted. So I live in Southern California, right? It's not a hotbed for barbecue. It's not Texas. It's not Memphis. It's not one of the big spots, right? So I love barbecue, and I can't find great barbecue around me. So I set out to learn how to do it right. And I have been to Texas. I have friends out there. I spent some time studying them. Obviously, you and I are both on YouTube a lot. I use YouTube as a tool just like anybody else, right? I want to learn how to make a brisket, I'll look it on YouTube, right? So I spent a lot of time studying, straight up like going to school. I studied. I failed a lot of, made some bad barbecue, but I've got to the point where I have, a big old offset. I have drum smokers. I have, the Weber kettle. I have pellet grills, right? I very interested in all of it, and I've taken it to the point where I'd have no problem catering your dinner party because I feel that confident in what I could do with it. Um, I don't have time to cater, but I would totally do it for you, Grant. So it's like one of those things. I I, I feel very confident in what I make, and I just absolutely love it. And when I actually have those free Saturdays when it's in between whatever sporting season we're dealing with, I would love to sit there and grill, barbecue, smoke, whatever, all day long. Have a couple, maybe adult beverages, and just enjoy life. And those are the things I look forward to the most. And that's it. I mean, cooking, barbecuing, any of that stuff is just a stress relief. I have a very stressful life, and this lets me, chill out. So it's always how it's always been.
That is really wonderful. I mean, clearly from your earliest days, cooking has kind of been associated with love and human connection, and to this
Yes,
day,
sir.
that has remained with you. I think not everyone can say they have something in their life that does that for them, and that's really wonderful. And I
Right.
think it's awesome that you've made a YouTube channel about it too, because now you're not just teaching people to cook, you're also, you have a vibe while you're doing these videos,
Right.
and it's contagious. And I mean, you even had a talk show, which we can get into, where you were,
Right.
just on the air talking about these things. And yeah, like, it's always when someone's able to make some extra money and get attention for their passion, it's like, as somebody who does YouTube, it always feels good to see somebody else succeeding at that and kind of taking this thing in their heart and putting it out for people to see. And yeah, so that being said, I was wondering, do you, like you mentioned that you have a job, do you cook professionally, or do you just save it for like the passion, your free time as a hobby? Yeah.
It to me, I don't cook professionally. I work a nice corporate, you know, 9 to 5. Um, but my dream one day, is to take this YouTube far enough where I could actually open, not necessarily like do, so it covers the bills that my main job pays for, makes so my wife doesn't have to work, and then open up the bar and grill, the neighborhood, have some fun with it.
Mm.
That is the ultimate. We'll get there someday. Not in a hurry. I feel like, knock on wood, I got a lot of good years left in me. I'm okay with that. Um, for me, it's the passion. I love cooking. I love sharing. The thing I don't get to do enough, and what I wish I could do more, is live cooking. I'll do live cooking on, I did one with some friends last weekend. Um, I'll do it so it's on my YouTube, it's on my Facebook, and then the chat's rolling. You're talking, you're moving, you're grooving. It's a challenge. You're having fun. You have a chance to interact. See, I'm more or less a one man show when I'm doing my videos, so I don't have a lot of interactive, banter to mess with, right? So when I could cook live, it's really like I'm bringing you into my kitchen, and it's a good time, and I really love that. For me, when I put this on YouTube, it was totally a fluke thing for me. My son in high school was in a film class, or in film, a couple of classes, and he was going, or is, well, he's at film school now, but he was going into film school. So I said, hey, look, I love to cook. Why don't you film me, do some edits, put a portfolio together of what you did, right? Because he wasn't going, he's going into editing or script development, right? So he wasn't like he's trying to be an actor, but he wanted to do this stuff. So I was like, dude, show me what to do, and we'll do it up for you. And I thought it was a great time for me and my son to kind of hang out, you know, uh, just him and I. right? You know, we have all the other kids running around. It was just a chance for me and my oldest to hang out. And we did a bunch of videos to start, but he couldn't keep up with, I started kind of digging it. I found a community in it, and that was really so. At that point, when he couldn't keep up because student, he had his whole thing going on. He's a teenager. Teenagers aren't the most reliable. So I was like, I told him, I'm like, look, I'm gonna take it over. So I learned how to light, I learned how to edit, learn sound. Like you could see the progression throughout my videos. Where
Definitely.
it was echoey and crappy sound, and now I use a pretty professional microphone. I use 4K video. You can see the progression is there. So, uh, my one of my other goals is when by the time he's done with film school, and he doesn't get something right off the bat, in Hollywood. I'm like, dude, I'll hire you to work for me. Like, I want him to be my first full time employee at Cooking with CJ. I think that'd be the hotness for me.
Totally. I mean, yeah, like I couldn't imagine a better feeling of just working with someone you raised, and yeah, like
Yeah.
the right on. I respect that, especially as somebody who I almost went to film school, and but my parents were always very supportive of me growing up doing these things. And some parents, like, they're like, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or blah blah blah. But the fact that you're very supportive of his dreams, it's wonderful. It warms my heart.
Thank you, man.
Hmm.
All our kids are good, man. They all have their own personalities. We have two 15-year-olds, a grown up boy that we want to pop their heads together most of the time because, they're 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then we have two littler guys. One's 13, one's 12. They're like BFS. They're always hanging out. They're always getting in trouble. And then we got our oldest. He's like, I think he's going into his junior year in college, and just killing it life. He actually texted me a little while ago. He's on the dean's list, and I was just like, dude, I can't be more proud of the family we got here. It is so it's very I don't know, surreal sometimes. When you think about what we got going on here.
Hmm. Yeah, right on. And I mean, clearly they're a big part of who you are. And I mean, just talking to you, like you're very put together, articulate. Like you're a very grounded fellow, and I
I
see where
appreciate
that
it,
comes
man.
from. So speaking of like being articulate and whatnot, you had a live show where you talked about cooking and barbecues. I was wondering if you could tell me a little about that. It seems you're not doing it anymore, but I was
No.
kind of wondering to hear about kind of what that did for you, who you did it with, what your goals were. Tell me about that journey.
All right. So when I was getting into this, I was getting to that 100 subscriber, right? And I was hitting the little goals and, whatever. And I was kind of getting in. When I made those videos with my son in the beginning, I thought I was inventing the wheel, man. I had no idea YouTube. I didn't know much about YouTube anyway, but I didn't know that they had like a whole cooking genre. Like I didn't, I just thought I was helping them out. And then I kind of got into these, I get on Facebook or whatever, and I was trying to, pimp out my videos, like watch my stuff. I'm cool. And I started kind of getting in with these little, the community of YouTube cooks, right? And one of the gentlemen had a talk show where he brought me on. It was called The Hot Seat, and it was just a Thursday night, thing. And at some point, that guy could not do it anymore. Work got in the way or whatever. And I was still relatively low on subscribers, like less than 500, I think, or something. Or I just got to 1,000, right? Something like that. I was just relatively low, and I was like, dude, let me take it on. Oh, you know what? That's when it happened. YouTube changed their monetization guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
was it
sure
used to
do.
be 10,000 views, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get 10,000 views, you'd be invited to the partner program. So I was at like 9,500, about ready to get there, and then they changed it to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when that guy had to get rid of it or call the show quits, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I take it on? And you said fine. I figured it was a great way to get the hours I needed. So I was getting to the 1,000 subscribers, but I needed the hours. And I preach live. If anybody's trying to get to that 4,000 hours, I preach live videos. If you could do lives, you get 10 people watching for your hour, you're getting 10 hours, right? It's just a numbers game. So I wanted to take that on so I can get my hours. And I have I feel like I have a gift of gab. I love talking. I have no problem getting in front of the camera and talking to people. And I like hearing what other people are doing, just like kind of what you're doing right now. And I started, I grabbed a co-host, a buddy of mine. It's Daddy Dutch Barbecue, so he was a barbecue creator too. Just didn't happenstance got into YouTube barbecue because some guy called him and said, "Come on and talk." So he was a competition barbecuer. He's now my barbecue mentor, if you will. And I call him anytime I have a question about anything. So we started going on there. We have one guest a week every Thursday night. Usually go about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I never really. I try to always hit an hour, but you get chatting, maybe a couple. The little bar behind me got raided or whatever, right? And we have a good time, and it became a way of making a little extra cash because I was getting the views. I'd get super chats.
Right.
At some point, we started this, and I feel damn near ashamed by saying it, but we had a young lady on that was nervous about being on our show. She's like, "Hey, can we take a shot before we get started?" I'm like, "Sure, we'll take a shot." And it happened to be kind of live, and someone threw like $10 in there, like, "Take another shot," and put hashtag super shots. So it was not super chats, it was super shots. And that was born, right? And so in a really bad way, it became an income generator. And but it was cool. It kept everybody, flowing, if you were. You get a couple, pops in somebody, and they're more than willing to talk about anything and everything. So, and it was never anything more than we talk a little bit of life. We talk about some channels. I'd have some canned questions that I always asked. One of the ones that would always trip everybody up was who would be on your personal Mount Rushmore. For people you love and admire. They could be celebrities, they could be grandma, right? So a couple times in there, people be like, "I want Ozzy Osbourne on there," whatever. And then other people would be like, "I would love to have my dad up there. He passed away last year." It was a very sweet moment, and it was just something that we use these questions to kind of connect a little bit more with the people that we follow. So that's why I was so eager to jump on this when you reached out. I'm like, this is the type of stuff people really dig, and I love talking about it. It was such a good time. Unfortunately, we grew it about as far as it was going to go. We actually had a show sponsor. We had guests, lined up for us. People calling us and stuff. It became a thing. It was solely YouTube. We did not put it on podcasts or anything like that. But it was 3 years or 2.5 years, 3 years, whatever. And I was kind of feeling a little burnt out. It was, as our things were getting busy, my channel was growing. Work was a little busier. We had, a bit of a boom, whatever, right? It just was taking its toll on me, and I had to cut something out. And so I did. I talked to my co-host. It's still a great friend. We still talk, every other day or whatever. And he's in Iowa, by the way. Like, we were able to do this. I'm in SoCal. He's in Iowa. We were talking to someone from Massachusetts, right? It was a great thing to do, just kind of how we're doing right now. And we kind of had to let it go. We let some other people take it on, and they're running with it. But it was a great time. I loved it. It served its purpose on all sorts of levels. But it was time for me to kind of step back and just kind of concentrate on growing my brand, growing just the channel, my website. It was selfishly, I needed some time to concentrate on me a little bit.
Oh yeah, and that is wise. Like I have been in the position where I'm pushing myself way too hard with this whole
Mhm.
YouTube thing, and really in the long run, you kind of end up shooting yourself in the foot anyway. Like, sure, maybe you worked an extra 2 hours today, and that's nice, but in the long run, you end up kind of affecting your personal life, and that drains you, and then you end up actually working less, or you're not as productive while you're working. So,
Right.
yeah, like I totally get it. And clearly, you're still doing plenty of work on YouTube. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you, it is what it is. And so, I have one last question for you. This is kind of a deep question I like to ask people, and that is, how do you feel that posting to YouTube for all these years, and with the success that you've accumulated so far, how has it affected you? So like a lot of people, they're like afraid to start, or if they do, they kind of stop very quickly. But for people who like, they want to know what it's like to feel like they're on the other side, they've found some success and some traction. How has that level of success and traction made you feel?
Well, I gotta tell you, it's a marathon, right? Um, I see a lot of people get into it and they realize that it is actually work. But to me, the benefit has been there. I'm not making a ton of money, but it's enough to have some fun with it. It helps pay some bills. We go to Vegas, whatever, right? It's helpful. Um, I said relationships that I've created with other creators, going to like Vid Summit or VidCon and learning and growing and stuff like that. Those has always been huge for me. I got to tell you, I was recognized the other day at the grocery store,
Oh, no
which
way.
was which is very cool. And it was just some random dude. He's like, "Oh, you do the air fryers, the wings. I learned how to cook wings on the air fryer." Yeah, and he was a Raiders fan, and um, you know, I'm a Vegas Raiders fan because they moved to Vegas. I love everything Vegas, so I took on the Raiders as the Vegas fan. So like, it was cool to chat with him about that stuff. So that was a very cool thing. Um, I have friends that are creators that um, are financially independent based off of YouTube and their brand, and it helps motivate me to someday be able to do that. Like, my first goal would be to earn income enough to have my wife stop working so she could be a full-time in on helping me with my brand here and grow this to even more so I can stop working and then we can work on, building out, whatever dreams we have, right? Um, so as far as like, I have goals, right? I'm goal oriented. Every milestone I hit just kind of drives it. Even when I feel like kind of beat up a little bit, you get the burnout like everybody talks about. I'll take a week off. I'll take 2 weeks off. You just got to do it. It is what it is. But then there's a point where you got to get up off your butt and get back to creating because your goals are to make something happen, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. Um, I love the creative aspect of it. I love coming up with recipes. Um, I come up with recipes for a gadget, right? An air fryer that it's easy to do on the stove, right? Or do in your oven, but it helps my creative process by coming up with something to put in a little box and make an awesome meal for your family, right? So each step of the way on my YouTube journey, one, it was help my son. Two, it helped me learn a new skill. Three, it helped me get through some times where I was struggling. It was a escape from real life for a little bit, right? Then it became an income generator, and now it becomes a point where I can actually help people. I work with the team, Unscripted Media, who's helped me build my website. I've been on their pocket, part of a team that I could help out other people that want to start their YouTube channels. Now, I'm no expert, but I know what I know and I know what I don't know, and I can help you get started at least, right? So those are the type of things that I've hit little, steps along the way to keep me going. So it's I don't get discouraged as much because I find something new to get me to where I want to be, going forward, hit those goals. Even when I see my subscribers jump by 100, all right, I got the next goal, right? And then 1,000, that week, I got the next goal, and so on and so forth. Obviously, I want the play button just like anybody else. Like, I think you're getting ready for your gold one pretty soon.
Getting there,
I mean, that's a big deal, right? So, the goals keep you going.
Right on. CJ,
Yeah.
it has been a pleasure talking to you. And
Me too,
thanks
man.
for sharing
Time
your
flies,
perspective.
huh?
I know, right? We're
That's what
almost
I
at,
love about it.
yeah, we're at like 45 minutes right now.
Well,
Not too shabby. And yeah, it flowed. It was easy. You're an easy guy to talk to.
I appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you reached out. This has been very cool. Hey, have me back on your 100th episode, dude. I can't wait to be a part of it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we will
Let's
definitely be talking again for sure. Yeah, much
go. All right.
appreciated. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.